it.
All right. What's up, everyone, and welcome to The Raw Lens. It's the show where we talk about what goes on behind the scenes of a day-to-day life of an entrepreneur. And today, we have our guest, Mr. Danny B. Films. He's been in the photography industry for more than 20 years. And also, he has been one of my mentors. Mr. Danny B., welcome to the show.
I like that.
Do you remember your first time doing an event or your first time getting into photography or videography business? What was the first time experience like for you? What got you into photography and videography?
What got me into photography? So that was obviously my father. I remember one time we were still living in 99th Street in Regal Park, and I was 12 years old. My father called me into his bedroom. I was in the living room, so he's like, "Danny, come here." And I got scared. I thought I got in trouble for something. Okay, I went in, I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, the first thing he asked me is like, "You want to make some money?" Okay, I'm like, I didn't know any better. I was like, "Okay, fine." He's like, "You want to start doing video editing?" He's like, "Okay, if you're serious about it, go to your uncle, my father's brother. He's gonna teach you how to edit videos, and I'm gonna pay you for your job, for your time." I'm 12 years old. I'm like, "Okay, fine." You know, I didn't know any better. I went to my uncle. I don't know if it was a few months that I went to my uncle, if it was a few weeks. I really don't remember. But I remember I did go to my uncle a few times, and he taught me how to edit videos. I started like that. And I remember my first job as a video editor was an engagement party. After I finished the job, my father gave me $10.
$10. I mean, listen, back then, $10 was a lot of money for a 12-year-old.
For a 12-year-old, exactly. My father gave me $10. I was so happy. And that was the first job. It was probably horrible. I'm sure it was horrible. But that's how it started, pretty much. This is it. That's the story, how I got started.
I had a pretty similar story. I also started with video editing, like you said before, and I also started at the age of 12, like video editing. But seriously, I got also started like when I was further down the line, maybe 14, 15.
I remember one time I saw you at a party.
Yeah.
And you showed me one of your reels, like one of the jobs that you did. And my father was like, "Yo, can I keep it raw? This is called the raw lens, right?"
This is called the raw lens. So I know it was crap. It was
I'm not saying that. No. My father saw an opportunity in you. He's like, "Yo, this kid could edit. I'm gonna use this kid." So my father's like show him the right way, like how I wanted, like the video editing for the weddings and engagement parties and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll show him." And that's it. That's how you started with us. You started with us first.
Well, technically, majority of the time I did, but I really did start. Well, I have to give it to the company Kaiko Media. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I started with them back
End of podcast.
I started with them back in 2009 as an intern. Yeah.
When did you start working for us?
I started working for you guys in 2014.
Damn, no, so you were like with already so that's how you got your reels and
that's how I got it. Yeah, man. That's
damn, I'm taking credit over here like
No, but listen, majority of the work that that I got was from you guys anyway. Can you share a story about a particular shoot that you have that's very memorable for you? A very particular interesting shoot that you won't ever forget?
Does it have to be like a good memory, or
it could be any kind of memory you want? It could be either good, bad. There's no discrimination.
Okay, I'll say one good and I'll say a couple of bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. This is the raw lens. This is.
I'll start with a good memory.
Let's start with the good memory.
So obviously, working in the Bukharian community. I mean, it's not gonna sound so good, but I'm gonna say it the way it is. I'm gonna keep it real. Working in Bukharian community, so you get paid your salary. Like whatever you discussed, you get paid the money that you're owed. That's written in the contract that you agreed with the clients. My point is, you don't get tips. In the photography world, with Bukharians, you don't get tips.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
100%.
I wish it would change, but that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one time working for a Spanish wedding. This is one of the good memories that I have. And in other communities, Italian, Hispanic, they give you tips. Russian wedding even, they give you tips. And I remember one time I was working at a Spanish wedding. The guy gave me a very good hefty tip. That's a good.
What was the tip? No, I want to know, what was the tip?
Just for me alone, what I considered good, because I never got tips in my life. So when he gave it to me, I was very happy. He gave me $500.
Damn, that's the biggest tip that I never even got that kind of tip.
I was confused. I was like, he's like, yeah, that's for you. I knew that it was custom from other nationalities or whatever you want to call it, ethnicities, that they give you tips. I had never expected it. because I'm so used to sometimes not even getting paid.
I love our Bahrain people. It's like we are very diverse in talent and everything that we do. We like to share our talent with the world, but I feel like our people don't see the value nor give appreciation for what we do. You know,
If I have to be real, I would say the most valued in our industry, in the wedding industry, I should say, as a whole, would be the musicians.
100%.
You know, with all the respect to musicians, I mean, they do what they gotta do. You have to have talent, obviously. You cannot just pick up, a mic and think you're an MC or, a DJ or whatever. It takes talent. I feel like they get the most respect.
Of course, no, because
I'm sure they get disrespected as well. But don't get me wrong. But in comparison to waiters, florists, photographers, videographers, whatever, I think DJs and MCs in general, they have the most respect.
They're the entertainment, This is what the people value, entertainment, and we get that 100%. Everybody has their own perspective, but as well, don't forget, photographers and videographers are with the bride and groom all day from morning to night. The entertainment industry is only with the bride and groom for only a certain amount of hours.
Well, we don't know, honestly. We don't know what they do behind the scenes also. They also meet up with clients. They also have, where they have to talk to the clients or whatever. But we as photographers, videographers, we definitely spend a lot more time with the clients than the DJs do, I think.
You can't change how the people see the vendors of photographers and videography. This is just this is their perspective and this is what they know. They're not... I feel like people are just not educated in the realm of photography and videography and what it takes and how much work is put into this field in order to create the memory. Because again, they did say that memories are priceless, but where do they show it? Where do they prove that memories are priceless? What is the bad part?
So I want to mention like this. So people will be like, why don't you work for Spanish then? Like, what? Don't talk.
Yeah.
Work for Spanish, work for Italians, work for whatever. I don't work on Saturdays. I don't work on Shabbat. If people would say that to me, I'm telling them I don't work on Shabbat. And I did get a lot of calls, or I do get a lot of calls still to this day, believe it or not, from people from my Instagram who are like, oh my God, I love your work. I love your style of photography. And I would want you to do my wedding, and especially when it's non-Bukharian, when it's in general. Nationalities other than Bukharians, when they reach out to me, their weddings are like a year or 2 years in advance.
Of course.
And when they would reach out to me and they give me a date, and I see the date is 2 years in advance. I check, let's say, for example, April 25, I check, it's a Saturday. So I simply would be like, yeah, no, sorry, I'm booked for that day. They're like, wow, it's 2 years in advance, you're booked? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and explain to them, no, it's Shabbat, I don't work on Saturdays, whatever. I'm not going to sit there.
I mean, what's wrong with saying that you can't work on Saturdays?
Rather just quickly end the conversation and be like, I'm sorry, I'm booked, than to sit there and explain myself.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's the reason why I stuck with Bukharians. Now, why I'm saying that is because it brings me to my next point, my bad experiences. There was a few, not too many, thank God, but there was a few bad experiences.
Don't go gentle. Be as raw as possible.
That's what she said.
I'm sure many people remember that I posted a video a long time ago when I was still working under my father.
I think I remember that video. I remember.
So I don't want to get too detailed into it. I know you're telling me to get raw and everything, but I just don't want to bring up those, not necessarily those memories. I just don't want to spice up anything a little too much. So I remember one time with that guy, I forgot, but I remember he was being very aggressive for my father, not me. I was still working as a videographer at that time. This is, I think, before I even got married. So I was working for my dad, and this guy was being very nasty to my dad.
I remember that. I remember you showed me that video. It was.
I posted it up. Forget about showing you. I posted it for the world to see, but then I took it down eventually. And I remember how he was being aggressive. It was nothing towards me, it was towards my dad. But I remember, I was like, we're working our asses off day and night, standing on our feet. This is another thing, that we're working from the morning all the way until late nights. And then when we come home, we don't actually fall asleep. We're sitting there and charging our batteries, making sure that we're downloading our SD cards, whatever we shot for the day, so that we can reuse them. Sometimes we have 2-3 weddings back to back, and we would have to use that for the next wedding. So we would make sure that all the files that we worked on with that SD card is backed up to another file. We wouldn't sleep sometimes until 3-4 in the morning. But I know.
Yeah, you don't fall asleep. I know what it's
3-4
like.
in the morning. Then you would wake up 7 o'clock in the morning. You would have to shower, do what you got to do, get ready, pack up your stuff, and head to the next wedding, head to the groom or bride's house, 9 o'clock in the morning. So standing on your feet all day, and then this guy sitting and disrespecting my father. I remember that at one point, and he just didn't sit well with me. And I remember I went to attack him, but it kind of got into a fight. It's memorable because these things don't happen so often. I mean, people will argue here and there, but like physically to get into a fight.
Yeah, that's very rare. Only if somebody's really drunk at a party, then maybe
not even drunk. You would have to. It's just not intelligent people.
During your years of service in the industry with photography. How is it keeping up with today's standards of gear in the industry? I know there in technology, there's always like new pieces of gear coming out every single year. How do you keep up with that? I know it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but how do you keep up with all this stuff? I mean, I know like I'm in the same, position as you. I'm always buying stuff, but like, when does it end? When does it end? I don't think it ever ends now.
This is called the photography addiction.
Fever.
No. So I'm gonna tell you like this: you don't need it. Straight up, whatever you have is enough to do what you have to do. But when you're so passionate, like you are, like I am, I'm passionate. I left, quote unquote, this photography field. I left for my own sake, for my children's sake, because I love taking pictures of my kids, I love taking pictures of my family. I still do sometimes on the side. You do not need the latest trend, the most expensive lighting right now that's out there. Even though I'm sitting there and buying it, you don't need it. You don't need it to succeed in this photography field.
You don't need it, but you get it anyway.
You don't need it, but I get it. I like it. I love it. When I play with new things, new toys, I love it. For me, this is my kaif. This is my therapy. I love it. But you tell me, how do I keep up with the latest trend? You don't have to keep up with the latest trend. If you're professional, really professional, and you know what you're doing with your gear, you don't need to buy new things for like 5 to 10 years, I would say. You can work with what you have for a long time before you invest into something new. Just right now, it became a trend where
you have to upgrade constantly.
Because every day there's something new coming out, new camera coming out, new lighting equipment. Like I said,
you can't even enjoy new gear. It's like the latest iPhone. You can't even enjoy the new iPhone.
I swear, you get something new and you're so happy and you feel so accomplished. 2 months later, look at this camera.
Exactly.
Like,
like what happened to technology? Like, we used to enjoy the stuff that we bought, and now it's so depressing to buy new stuff because like you can't even enjoy anything. Exactly. I agree with you. What's the biggest challenge today as a photographer in the industry? The biggest challenge for you?
I wouldn't call it so much as a challenge. I would just say it's you're competing with newbies, amateurs, where they're working for pretty much for pennies, or they're even working for free just to get themselves exposed.
Yep.
And people, sometimes they want to save money. It's understandable. Photography isn't cheap, but people want to save money. Like, a photo's a photo. I'd rather take this person. So that's the only thing I would say is a competition. You're not really competing with the big shots. You're competing more with the small people. I would say that's the biggest challenge right now.
Yeah, usually the amateurs are the one that's taking all the jobs.
I would say they're kind of killing what you worked so hard for.
Exactly.
You're like way up there, and your level of photography is so high up there, but they don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, because unfortunately, clients only care about price and budget. They don't care about quality. They just want somebody to show up with the camera and film.
But with that being said, the people that truly appreciate your photography, they're gonna hire you no matter what.
Of course.
And those are the clients that I stick with. Like I said, I retired, but if people call me and I tell them, listen, if you want me to come out for you, this is my price. And I'm going to say the way it is. I'm not going to boast about it. A lot of people would say, okay, fine. And I don't hear from them. And then there's some very few that I love your work and I'm going to stick with you and I'm willing to pay your price. And those are the clients that I'm sticking with. Those are the clients that I appreciate, that I want to work for. You understand?
Yeah, no, there are some people that know what true art really is and they're willing to pay for what art. It's like going to a museum and you see, like, I'll give a stupid example, but I'm bamboozled by how much money a person will spend on a freaking painting of a freaking banana taped to a wall. Bruh. And they call that art. It's literally comparing that to amateurs. Like, I'm just saying, guys, know what the worth of art is, okay? Not a freaking picture of a freaking banana.
Hey, listen, if I could get to that level where I could fool somebody with a banana and get paid for it, I'll do it.
I could easily do the same thing.
Yeah.
What's the most rewarding part about being a photographer?
I would say it's appreciating the art that you created. For me personally, when I see my work and I love it, I genuinely enjoy seeing my work. I wouldn't say it's so much working with the clients, getting paid. When I see my art come to life, this is my pleasure. My pleasure is not working for clients or making money. My pleasure is the actual photography. That's my pleasure. That's what I love.
Yeah, I know, because I remember when you first hired me as an assistant, and I got paid $20 every time I
Hey, yo, why you gotta put me on blast like that?
No, listen, it was that was when I first started with you guys, and you wanted me to be an assistant holding your reflector and stuff.
I wanted you to also see not only that you could hold my reflector,
but also to see what the photography is like.
what it's all about exactly.
Yeah, of course. No, and I see the
honestly, all that was for nothing. As you go on with your photography career, your style changes, and you realize that a lot of the things that you used to use before, like on weddings or whatever, or like when I was doing family photo sessions, that's when you would come.
Yeah.
You would hold my reflector. Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are times when you need a flash, when you need a reflector, but you learn and you figure out ways where you don't have to use that anymore.
What advice would you give to aspiring photographers?
Off. Aspiring photographers. I have one girl that's an aspiring photographer, or I'm not gonna mention her name, but she's not from New York. I did her wedding, and she always, not always, but from time to time, she would message me for advice. If you're listening, I hope you are listening. I'm gonna tell you this right now, that I appreciate that you call me for advice. Let's just put it at that. If you truly love it, do it for yourself. Because as photography, as a job, if it's a side gig, then by all means. But as a full-time job, it's extremely demanding. You're away from your family. People say, why did you quit? Why did you retire? Why I don't do this full-time anymore? Because when you're doing event photography in general, doing bar mitzvahs or
weddings and
engagement, weddings, that kind of stuff, you're never home.
Oh, absolutely.
You know this.
I agree.
You're a freelancer, but even you feel it.
I feel it.
You're not home. You don't spend time with your family. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Independence Day, July 4th.
Any holiday.
Any American national holiday. Thanksgiving.
Any federal holiday, you're never home.
Thanksgiving. Okay, Christmas, we don't really celebrate, but Christmas even. New Year's. Yeah. Let me say this, Leon. Let me say what I have to say, Leon. New Year's, you don't spend time with your family. This is everybody's chance to take off from work and enjoy themselves. So what do? They have a celebration. Who do they call? Us.
Exactly. They call us.
We're not with our family.
No, we're not.
We are with our clients.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the bonus round of questions. In this segment of the show, we usually call it the truth or shot segment. And what happens is I will ask the guest a few questions, very, very deep questions, very personal questions.
Oh, Berlin.
If they want to answer.
You didn't tell me. I'm not
It's called truth or shot, man. Listen, if you choose to answer, you can answer. But if you refuse to answer because of the truth that you don't want to spill, you have to take a shot.
It.
All right.
Yo, Leon, you're making me nervous, man.
What's the most difficult client you had to work with?
Oh, that, yeah.
Truth or shot, man. Pick your poison.
The most difficult client I've ever worked with. I don't know.
Truth or shot. Listen, you gotta have balls of steel to answer this question, because I know we had a lot of up clients in our industry. So
I have one in mind that was very difficult. I wouldn't say they're difficult, because this is very important that people have to understand. We work in a field where everything is artistic. Everybody's taste in art is different. Yes or no? You agree with me on that?
100%. Everybody has their own perspective in what art is. Yes.
Yes, you accomplish yourself as a person. This is my style. This is how I am. But if a client, I'll give an example, like a bride, because usually the brides are the most pickiest with themselves.
Of course.
The brides are usually the most insecure with themselves. Mm-hmm. It's not your pictures that they're not happy with. It's with themselves that they're not happy with.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Oh,
I agree.
My lapichki, my hand is too fat. My nose is crooked. My nose is fat. They could be nice, but they're just insecure with themselves. You know what I mean? Those are difficult clients to work with. Like, there's no way of satisfying them, because no matter what you do, your pictures are phenomenal. And they know, they're like, Danny, I have a few clients, many clients like this. It's not you. I'm just not happy with the way I look. Clients come up to me, make me look skinny. Go to the gym.
You have like 5,000 pictures. If he's not gonna make you look skinny in 5,000 pictures, you're insane.
No, they'll choose a few that they like from whatever angle. But it's like, no matter what angle you shoot, the lighting is perfect. The pictures are beautiful, and they know it. They say straight up, like, listen, the pictures are beautiful. I'm just not happy with the way I look. Anything you can do about it. I'm saying, listen, this is the way you look. You want me to alter, make it plastic surgery on the photo? Like, that's extremely time consuming. I can do 1 or 2 photos here and there, but it's extremely time consuming. I can't do it for every single photo like that. You know what I said? The most difficult client I had to work with was somebody that tried to break my light stands, tried to break my flashes. Didn't want to pay me at the end of the wedding.
Was this bride drunk or something?
It's not the bride. It's the bride's family, like extended family. And it's
really?
Like, you never negotiated with them.
I mean, yeah. Usually at the end of the party, a lot of guests are usually
there
drunk.
There was only one client I had like this that actually tried to break my stuff. One.
Wow.
She didn't want me to leave for some reason. I forgot the exact reason what it
Oh
was.
wait, I remember you told me the story. Yeah. Oh, I
I'm
think
not
I
gonna-
was there.
No, you were not there.
I was not there?
No, you were not here. David Abdurrahmanov, he stood up for me that day. I'm going to say it the way it is. I have to say for everybody to know. David, I appreciate you. I want you to know that.
I have a feeling you're gonna take a shot for this one. What's the billing process like when it comes to after weddings?
The billing process?
Have you ever had any problems with the billing process?
Yeah, for sure. In our community, a lot of the clients would be like, "You didn't provide me with anything yet. Why do you feel or why do you think I should pay you right now?" Even though in the contract it says you have to pay me up front.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of business that we're in. People are like, "Oh, you're afraid that the couple will get divorced." It's not even that. There's so many factors around why we want to collect the money up front. So many factors.
You have to also pay the workers as well.
Pay the worker. Well, they'll be like, okay, we'll pay you for the workers, but you yourself, you can hold off on your money that you're owed. Finish your job, and then eventually you'll get paid. But that's talking about months, possibly, and sometimes even years down the line.
They treat this business like it's a credit card. You don't do it that way. It's a debit card. Okay?
But I'm gonna give credit to where it's due. Thankfully, all the photographers out there, I'm not gonna mention who, including our own company. My father, also, he's been in this business for, I don't know, 30, 35 plus years.
Yeah.
My father's been in this business for a long time. We all got together and we made a pact. We all come together and we all said we will collect money, full payment, on the night of the wedding.
Yeah.
Outside of the Bukharian community, photographers collect their money before the event, before the wedding. Before the wedding, they collect their money. Mm-hmm. We still are kind of like old-fashioned, but this is for us modernized. We collect the money on the night of the wedding, whereas before we would collect the money after the wedding, after we finish the entire job, after we give them the video fully edited, after we give them the albums, the pictures, everything. Then we will collect our payment. But now, thankfully, like I said, all the photographers got together. We made like a pact together. We promised each other that as all photographers will start collecting money on the night of the wedding. There's no such thing as balance anymore. You pay me the night of the wedding. I don't care. I didn't give you your video yet. I didn't give you pictures. Obviously, those take time to process. We'll get it done for you. There's other photographers out there that made a bad rep for some of us, where they didn't deliver or they would screw their clients over, and that affected us in some way. But for the most part, most photographers deliver. For the most part.
You're doing so good so far. Have you ever had to redo a shot entirely because of your own mistakes?
Because of my own mistakes?
Yeah, like you had to redo a shot, but you didn't have time to redo the whole shot. So what was that experience like?
I don't think I ever had to redo a shot because of my own mistake. If I made a mistake, let's say ever, it was not so severe where I would have to redo something, But with that being said, I did redo some shoots, not because of my own mistake. I remember one time I did a family photo session and the kid kept crying. He kept crying and just didn't show. I felt bad for taking their money. They paid me. I told them I'll give them another day when the kid gets slightly, a little bit more older. I followed through my word. They called me up and I said I'll do it for you. And whatever money they paid me, they didn't pay me anything more after that. I followed through with my promise. For my own my mistake, for me to have to redo something, no, that never happened.
I'm sorry if I'm going to make you uncomfortable. In the industry, who's your favorite photographer?
Me, myself, and I.
Besides you, who's your favorite photographer, videographer? It's either you tell the truth or you take a shot. Choose your poison.
In our community, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take the shot. Pour it for me. I don't care.
I'm gonna take one with you. I'm not a vodka guy. I do, however, am a Don Julio guy. Not sponsored, by the way. Let's do it.
So,
cheers.
Photographers out there. Enjoy. I don't even want to say it, honestly, but I feel like...
Listen, you took the shot for a reason. You either take the shot or you tell the truth.
So I'll be quiet then.
Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for watching The Raw Lens. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and we'll see you in the next one.